Hi guys, Official Ma here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this YouTube channel, we talk about men's relationship and how to get you your dream girl. If you know this kind of content interests you, please hit the subscribe button down below, and without being done, let's proceed to the video. In today's video, I'm going to be listing out some brutal truths that make men irresistible to women. Most of the points that I would be mentioning in this video are very hard pills to swallow. It might sting, but it's actually the truth. And this point is not all about having money, looks, or charms. So are you ready? Because I am. Let's dive into the video. Most magnetic men have made peace within themselves. They know their self-worth, and their self-worth isn't up for any negotiation. This kind of man quietly draws attention in without needing to speak, and he's this kind of person that leaves a lasting impression long after he's gone. This kind of man, he's already made peace with himself. He knows his self-worth. He knows his self-value. He's developed a quiet confidence through awareness, emotional maturity, and purpose. He's not the kind of man that thinks or that feels that he needs to chase women in order to feel complete. This kind of man has taken time to understand his strengths, his flaws, his values, his belief. He's taken time to study himself. He knows his weaknesses. He knows his strengths. He knows what he stands for, and more importantly, what he won't stand for. He's not the kind of man that always follows the crowd or feels like, okay, because people are having this particular opinion about this particular thing, even if that thing is right or wrong, he goes to where the crowd is. No. He knows what he stands for, and he knows what he believes in. This kind of man do not approach relationships to fill that void that is missing in him. No, because he's already complete. What he's looking for is companionship and not someone to fill an empty void. He doesn't treat women like a prize to be won, because he knows that he's not in any competition and he already has his value. And he's not doing this because he thinks that he's better than anyone else, but because he's done the inner work to respect himself. There's this groundedness, there's this aura in his presence. He's not arrogant, he doesn't treat people as trophies, but he's not willing to abandon himself also. He's not willing to lose himself in order to please anybody. He doesn't treat people as trophies, but also he respects himself enough so people also accord him the same respect too. And women, like all people, are drawn to men that are emotionally steady. A person that has taken the time out to do the work on himself, that understands his inner self. He's not the kind of man that tries to fit in. He's the kind of person that stands for what he believes in and lets what he wants come to him naturally. Imagine a man whose mood doesn't swing based on the way a woman treats him. He's not the kind of person that starts running helter-skelter when she tries to pull away, test him, or provoke his emotions. I know it's not very easy. All these things you guys are going to be saying, oh, it's more easier said than done. But it takes a lot of time to build this personality. When you understand yourself deeply, do the inner work for yourself, heal your childhood trauma, you become emotionally stable. You're not the kind of man that starts running helter-skelter when she tries to pull away or when she tries to test you with different petty games. And there's something I need you guys to understand is that women test men, most times even subconsciously, they test men to feel the strength in his character. And a weak man definitely would react immediately, but a man that has taken the time to build himself who stays self-centered. When you're not the kind of person that easily gives into reactions, the kind of reactions that they want you to, it shows her that you're the kind of man that would be emotionally stable when there's chaos. Like, you're not the kind of man that's perhaps maybe if things go wrong, but God forbid, you're not praying for bad things to happen, right? But you only expect the worst while hoping for the best. When there's time of chaos, you would not be that person panicking. If you're panicking and she's panicking, how do you expect the family, how do you expect the kids to react, right? You're the kind of man that will stay calm in a moment of chaos, because even the strongest person in the room is not a person without fear, but a person that knows how to compose or and how to face those fears. And it also shows that you have a life of your own. You're not the kind of man that is looking for someone to complete you because there's an empty void in you. It shows her that you're complete. You have a life of your own. You have a complete life of your own outside the relationship. And it shows that you're whole as a person. That is what makes you attractive. And that is what makes this kind of man very rare. An irresistible man never gives up on his freedom, whether it's emotional freedom, spiritual freedom, mental freedom in order to please somebody else. He would never do that. He's not the kind of person that is manipulative because he doesn't even have the time to play games. If love is present, if you want to bring in love, if you want to love him genuinely, if you want to stay with him genuinely, definitely he would welcome you and he would also give out love genuinely too. He would also play his own role correctly. But when that love fades and when you start trying to be manipulative or you start bringing up games, he definitely lets it go. He would not even think twice about it. And why? Because he understands that love cannot survive where self-respect is sacrificed. He walks away from disrespect calmly. He doesn't need to shout. He doesn't need to cause chaos. He just walks away. He removes himself from that equation quietly. He doesn't even need to cause drama. He doesn't even need to confront that person over and over again. You've told this person once. You've told the person twice. You've complained about a particular thing calmly to that person, and that person is not willing to change. He just removed himself from that equation quietly. He knows that he cannot sacrifice his self-respect because of love. And women would definitely value a man that has self-respect for himself. Because if you don't have self-respect for yourself, how do you expect somebody else to accord you that same respect? An average man chases anything under skirts. But this kind of man, he doesn't chase, he chooses. He chooses the kind of woman that he wants to be with. He chooses the kind of woman that he wants to spend his life with. He's not the kind of man that just gets attracted to any single lady because, of course, she's a female. No, he takes time to choose the girl that he wants to be with. He doesn't fall in love with the idea of a woman. When someone falls in love with the idea of a person, that person falls in love with that person's potential without seeing who that person is truly. I've seen so many people in relationships. They know that this person is not treating them good. This person is treating them badly, but still they don't find the courage to leave because they are in love with the idea of that person, not who that person is. They are seeing the potential, not the results, not the outcome. That is why most times when you're deeply in love, you're mostly delusional. And there's the people outside that would be telling you that, no, this is not what it is. This is what it is. But you would be too blind to see because you're in love and you're in love with the idea of that person, not who that person is. That is why most times when you break up with a partner, when you leave a relationship, you start seeing some kind of flaws, you start seeing some kind of patterns, or you start seeing how stupid you were at that time because you couldn't see those things clearly. You couldn't see who that person is because you were in love with the idea of that person. But an irresistible man views himself to the point that he's not in love with someone's idea. He's in love with who that person is. He watches a lady, the way she talks to other people, the way she interacts with other people to actually ascertain who that person is. I've made a whole video about how to know the true character of a woman. If you're interested, I would link that video up there and you can go check it out. He looked past the makeup, the curves and everything to who that person is. I'm not trying to say that you should get married or you should try to date people that you're not physically attracted to. No, because physical attraction have a very long role to play, but you should have a scale of preference also. And this kind of man knows that a wrong woman can drain a king, can bring your empire down. The empire that you've taken years, the empire that you've taken decades to build, she would pull that empire down. And this level of discernment is very irresistible. A man who wakes up every day with purpose. He's driven by something, either a career, a hobby, or a goal. He's not that kind of man that lays down on his couch every day and hoping that things get better without putting out the work to do that. He's not the kind of man that sits down every day talking about his goals without executing them. Once he says something, he's very quick to take actions. He has goals, he has purpose, he has ambition in life, very, very important. And women don't fall in love with him because of his sweet words, because actually he doesn't have the time for that. He doesn't have the time to go online and start learning about pickup lines to make a girl fall in love with him. Nope. He's driven by his purpose. He's driven by his ambition. He doesn't have the time to start sweet talking a lady to be in a relationship with him. his portfolio only will do that. Because let's be very honest, women love men that are successful because they want to have the sense of security. Because when women are choosing a partner, number one thing that they look for is security, financial security, emotional security, and all of that. And remember, success is relative to different people. Success for Mr. A might not be success for Mr. B. So when I say successful, success is relative to different people. What is being successful in a layman term is setting a goal and accomplishing that goal. That is why success is relative to different people, because different people have different goals and different people have different objectives. You mustn't be at the destination yet, but you should be on the path towards it. And I'm speaking based on the majority of my audience here, based on the higher proportion of my audience, because when I check my analytics, like most of my audience are between the age of 20 to 35. And I believe that being around that age demographics or that age grade, most people haven't really gotten to their goals. Most people haven't got to their dreams. As long as you're on the path to success, you have goals and ambition, you have short-term goals, you set short-term goals for yourself and you achieve those goals, you are already on the path to success. You're already successful in your own way. Here's the twist. This man becomes irresistible because it's okay with being rejected. He doesn't clown for attention. He doesn't turn himself to a clown because he wants a girl to give him attention. If a girl rejects him, he doesn't see it as his lack. He doesn't see it as his flaw. It's okay, that's okay. Maybe he just doesn't have what you want in a partner, which is totally fine. You cannot judge a Mustang by taking it to the sea. Or you cannot judge a speedboat on a road for the fact that you're not with the right person at the right place or at the right time. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. A man who built himself, built his empire, not for validation, but the fact that he knows himself and he knows what he was born to. That man, that is the 98.9% man. I hope you found this video very useful. If you did, don't forget to give this video a very big thumbs up, and please also share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification so you'll be notified each time I post a video. I love you guys all and see you in my next video. Cheers.